Hey everybody, Prince's friend here. So I know my last video was a little sad, but I'm definitely better today. This is day 4, so this is Sunday. So this is both also one of the days that I'm most excited about, but also one that is kind of sad for me because I'll be leaving after playing Paisley today. So I did want to go ahead and just talk a little bit about that, what happened yesterday. So this is my day 3 recap. I'm going into day 4, but this is day 3. So I didn't have anything at Paisley until 5 o'clock. So the first thing that I did was at noon, well, actually, I got together with my friend and we went and got some coffee and we went over to Calhoun Square, which was pretty cool. Again, one of kind of just going, I was in Uptown and going to Calhoun Square. So one of these things where it's like, I'm like, kind of walking where, Prince was. So it's pretty cool. The other thing that we did was when we were there, we ran into an art shop and there was a local artist. So we invited her back for us to also interview because yesterday was interview day. So I did one interview Thursday, one interview Friday, and then Saturday I actually ended up doing 3 interviews. One was with Gail Chapman, and she is like amazing on like every level. She's a wonderful person. Love her a lot. Hey Gail, if you're watching. I also interviewed the local artist. Her name was Gigi Fingerhut, and she did a great piece. Again, these interviews are gonna end up, I have to take them home and cut them, edit them and stuff. Some of them ran a little long. Make sure, we make them part 1s and part 2s if I need to. This is also what my day 4 of being at a convention or festival of some sort sounds like. I'm usually good for about 2 days and then I start sounding like this. Like, anyway. Then my 3rd interview was with Terry Jackson, who was one of the members of Grand Central, along with Morris and Andre and Prince and all those wonderful people that we love in Grand Central. And he was one of the members as well, and he kind of gave us a few little stories which were really, really nice. And apparently has a book coming out, so he wanted to talk a little bit about that, but it's not ready yet, but it will be out, soon, kind of. So after I was done with all of that stuff was really cool, and it sounds like I'm doing a lot, but actually I'm actually holding stuff back from you guys. One of the things too, though, I will share this because I just posted it on Instagram this morning, but while I was waiting for Gail to show up for her interview, she wasn't late or anything, just I was waiting. I was just there way earlier than she was. I saw a woman come into the lobby and she sat down, and I was just like, I noticed the hair, and I'm like, the hair, I was like, is that Susannah Melvoin? And it was just really cool because it was. And I was too nervous to go over and say hi because I don't even know how to approach people who, get swooned over all the time. Like, I almost don't want to because I don't want to be like just another person who goes and does that. But my friend, Stone, went over and was just like, hi, are you Susannah Melvoin? And she's like, yeah, of course. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go over there now that the ice has been broken. And she did take a picture with me, and I did post it on the Instagram today. She did give me permission to post that and say, that I met her, and it was really cool. So there's that. Then I went to Paisley, and Paisley was interesting. Yesterday was the tour day, basically, for me. It was 2 things. It was Funk Soldiers and it was tour day. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to not talk about the tour itself today, all right? Because I think that does deserve its own video. So today, I am just going to talk about a little bit about what it was like yesterday at the thing for the funk panel, the Funk Soldiers and stuff. But before I do that, when I got there, I was actually greeted by a couple of the security guards, and they were really, really nice. They were like, oh, you got here, and awesome. And I was like, yeah, like everything's super freaking nice. I love it. But when I got there, there was a moment where I was like, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but like you can't take pictures, and they are really serious about not taking pictures, so much to the fact that when you get there, they put your phone in like a little slipcase. So I said, hey, before I put my phone in a slipcase, can I take a picture of the slipcase? Because I think it's actually kind of interesting the way that they're doing that. Dave Chappelle did something similar when he was recording his $50 million concerts, because he's like, y'all ain't gonna be leaking this. I'm getting $50 million for this, so no, you cannot. And you know what, more power to him. So I was like, hey, can I take a picture of the slip before I put my phone in the slip? And they were like, well, you can't take pictures here inside, but let's step outside real quick. And I got a quick, picture of it, and that was really nice of them to do. But when I did that, I heard one of the security guards go, oh man, this joke is going to be talking smack about the slipcases on the internet. And I'm like, oh God, does the security know who I am? I mean, this whole trip has been kind of an eye opener in terms of I didn't realize how far my actual reach was, because a lot of people know me here, which is great. I mean, we're all friends here, so it was funny. So then, one of the security guards pulled me to the side, and this gentleman was like he was just like, look, like I've been here since the beginning, like I'm not somebody who was just hired on afterwards, and Prince used to give tours here and everything, and if we didn't do these things, how do you think we're gonna keep the lights on? And I was just sitting there, I was like, yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and I don't know if maybe he was, trying to head negative press off at the pass, or like maybe he didn't even know who I was, and this is like, he was just like, hey, I tell this to everybody who potentially might say something bad about the place that I work and the place that I love. Or if he knew me and I said something negative about Paisley, I don't remember saying anything negative about Paisley, at least not recently. I think when they first opened up Paisley, I think I was a little bit like, I don't know about that. But I mean, recently, I mean, I wouldn't have come here if I thought that it was wrong and, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So so I don't know where he kind of laid there, and I don't know if I said something on the internet that maybe he saw that he was just like, this joker needs a talking to, but I certainly did get a talking to, in the nicest way. But I mean, this guy was, I could tell he was like a cuddly teddy bear, in like, in large security man fashion. But I could tell he was a nice cuddly man. Anyway, so I thought that was, again, it was very eye-opening, and I got to kind of go around to a bunch of other people, and I got approached by other people that I hadn't yet made contact with this weekend, so that was really, really fun. So the Funk Soldiers panel was kind of an introduction to the people who were in some of the people, not all of the people, but some of the people who were in the Prince live on the big screen, the people who performed on the stage. So it was mostly the horn section, and then Cassandra, and they told some really fun stories about how they got into the band, and kind of just had really good banter. Like you could tell that they were friends. And honestly, that panel made me appreciate the Prince live on the big screen a little bit more, because now I kind of knew the people behind it, besides just Shelby. Like, I think Shelby is really the only one that I knew, like, for a fact, because I reviewed her album, and I did a bunch of research, and I kind of fell in love with her. So, but it was really cool to see the panel and actually get to learn who the rest of the group was. And yeah, so then later that evening, after the tour, and again, I'll do the tour later, they did another performance. So it was the same group who did Prince live on the big screen, but now they were in Paisley Park with a little screen, and just them, and no Prince recording. And honestly, this performance, everything negative that I had to say about the Prince live on the big screen, this performance fixed. And it made me happy again, because I think that I don't need a recreation of Prince. I think that was really the big problem. And the thing about the Prince live on the big screen was, like, the reason that I was there, and I was up on my feet, and I was dancing, and I was shouting and jumping and having a grand old time. And when Prince said, "Put your hands up," I put my hands up. And when he do the ow, I do the ows back. And, you know, I was doing all of that. And there was just there was a certain point where, and I said this in the last video, where I just sat down because I realized that the love that I was giving to Prince, he wasn't there. He wasn't physically there to receive it and to respond to it and to instantly then give it back. And that was actually a big deal to me, you know, personally. It was a huge deal. So, and some people know, anybody who got the thing, but after it was over, I like texted like a million people and just told them how much I loved them, and like, because I just had this outpouring of love that I needed somebody to feel. I didn't want to just throw out love and it just be in the air, and like, you know, it's like if you're pouring water, it's different than if you're just going to splash it on the ground versus whether you're going to pour it into cups. So I sent a bunch of text messages to like everybody. So if you got one, sorry, like it was like a late night, like, "Oh, I love you, man," kind of text message. But it was a good way for me to try and get that out. And then of course for all of you, I came back and I recorded that last video, which was also very emotional for me. But this performance it fixed everything. There was no Prince to kind of just be there as kind of a symbolic figurehead. Shelby J and Kip Blackshire were there, and when they said put my hands up, I did it, and I could tell that the energy was there between them and the crowd, and I loved every moment of it. They also did no songs that they already did the night before, and they went deep. They did Big City, they did The Work, they did Extra Lovable, they did all of the stuff that I almost cursed. They did all the stuff that I wish they kind of would have done for the mass crowd, and I think that might be the difference in the mindset between me and the person making the marketing decisions, who is probably smarter than me. That doesn't mean that I agree with it, but you know, they might be correct. I just might be wrong. But for me, I think that having the big concert for everybody be just hits, and then when you get to the smaller crowd of, you know, the bigger Prince friends, then you do all like the side tracks that everybody loves, that don't just listen to the radio signals. I think that's a valid way to do it. Like, but if I didn't come to Paisley and I only went to the live on the big screen, I would still be in the same sentiment that I was yesterday. But because of this second performance, like I'm like no longer sad, because I think that it was cool. But what I would do in the future, not that anybody asked, but like just sprinkle some in. Like, if you end up doing the Prince on the live screen anymore, which I don't know if I would want to go again. I just don't think it's for me. I don't think I'm the target audience. But if you did do it, I would say mix in some of the songs that people may not know to give them an idea of the rest of the artistry that this man had. But it was interesting though, because when we were at Paisley, I could tell who did or did not know all of the tracks that we were singing. You know, the bigger Prince friends in the crowd, the ones that have actually gone through the whole catalog already. I know that a lot of people are still going through it, but we are the ones that kind of went through it already, so we're jumping and we're going crazy and singing along and all that stuff. And I could tell that there were some people who was just like, yeah, this is good. I don't know. So after that, I went to First Avenue and got to check out some of the iconic places. I was gonna hook up with Michael Dean. For some reason, I could not find him. That was just that's just how that happened. But love you, Michael. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk soon. And then after that, I went to just like a brief kind of after party at this like weird place. It was an interesting apartment building that had been like converted into like a party place, and it was very 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 interesting. But then I stayed there, and then I came back home or back to my hotel room, mostly because I have a long day today, and I'm really excited about F Deluxe today. There's going to be some other stuff today where I get to see panels on Prince's iconography and his dance and stuff like that. But I'm really excited for F Deluxe. Got to interview Jelly Bean Johnson on Thursday. I actually got to meet Susannah Melvoin yesterday. So both of those two occurrences, plus the fact that I bought an F Deluxe CD this weekend and I've been jamming out to them recently, I think that this is going to be an amazing show. So I'm very excited. Thank you for everybody who was watching this, and I'm going into day 4 now, but that was my day 3 review. So thank you very much, and may you live to see the dawn.